Welcome to our deep dive on pensions versus ISAs and tax-free accounts. We will explore how to prioritize between long-term retirement vehicles and flexible, accessible accounts. We will also present a practical hierarchy and include quizzes to test your understanding. Let's begin by outlining what we will cover and then transition into a brief but important disclaimer. Here's our roadmap. First, we will define the core dilemma. Next, we will address the most important and controversial rule about employer match. Then, we will walk through a strategic hierarchy to decide contributions. After that, we will compare pensions and ISAs side by side. We will follow with why flexibility matters for midterm goals and present a clear action plan. Then, we will highlight common mistakes, run a realistic case study, test your knowledge with quizzes, and finally close with key takeaways and the wrap-up. Before we proceed, this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Everyone's situation is unique. Consequently, you should consult a qualified financial advisor or tax professional before making decisions. With that clarified, let us move smoothly into the core dilemma we are solving today. The central dilemma is whether you should lock your money into retirement accounts for maximum tax relief and long-term compounding, or prioritize flexible, accessible accounts such as ISAs or Roth-style accounts that provide liquidity for midterm goals. The answer is not binary. Instead, it depends on a smart order of operations. To set the foundation, we will first discuss the most important rule that guides all decisions regarding workplace retirement plans. The first and most critical rule is to always claim the employer match if it is available. An employer match is an instant, effectively risk-free return. For example, if you contribute 5% and your employer matches 5%, you have effectively doubled that portion, which is extremely difficult to beat elsewhere. Therefore, you should contribute at least enough to capture the full match before considering other options. This step provides a strong foundation for long-term compounding, which in turn increases your ultimate wealth. With the free money secured, we can now transition to constructing a complete hierarchy of priorities. This flowchart illustrates the strategic hierarchy. First, secure the employer match. Second, build a full emergency fund, typically 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, to protect against job loss or unforeseen costs. Third, if you have goals within 10 years, such as a home deposit, prioritize accessible, tax-advantaged vehicles like an ISA or Roth contributions that maintain liquidity. Fourth, once your immediate needs and midterm goals are covered, aggressively maximize contributions to restricted retirement accounts to take advantage of significant tax relief and compounding. Finally, if you still have additional funds, consider investing through a taxable brokerage account. Now that you have the overarching order of operations, let us compare pensions and ISAs directly. On the left, pension and 401k plans often provide tax relief and may include employer matching, making them powerful for long horizons. However, they typically carry withdrawal restrictions and possible penalties before retirement, although specific rules vary by country. On the right, ISAs or tax-free accounts are funded with post-tax money, grow tax-free, and offer much greater accessibility, making them excellent for midterm goals under roughly 10 years and as a safety net. While they lack employer matching, their flexibility is a central advantage. With this comparison in mind, we will now spotlight why flexibility itself is a form of wealth. Flexibility enables resilience. Having accessible, tax-advantaged funds lets you handle emergencies without derailing your retirement plan. It also helps you bridge midterm goals, such as saving for a home deposit, thereby avoiding high-interest debt. The goal is to avoid being asset-rich but cash-poor, which happens when too much is locked into restricted accounts. Using ISAs or Roth contributions strategically can help you both seize opportunities and mitigate risks. With the why established, we can move to a concise priority table that converts strategy into action. This table converts the strategy into 5 clear steps. First, capture the employer match for immediate returns. Second, build a robust emergency fund to prevent crises from forcing bad financial decisions. Third, fund midterm goals through accessible, tax-advantaged accounts such as ISAs. Fourth, once the short-term and midterm needs are covered, maximize contributions to pensions or 401k plans to capitalize on tax relief and compounding. Fifth, invest any remaining funds in a taxable brokerage for additional flexibility. Next, we will walk through a simple action plan you can start today. Follow these steps. First, verify your employer's matching policy and enroll. Second, automate contributions to guarantee you capture the full match. Third, calculate essential monthly expenses and build an emergency fund equal to 3 to 6 months, depending on job stability and risk tolerance. Fourth, map each financial goal by time horizon, categorizing as short-term, mid-term, or long-term. Fifth, allocate accordingly. Hold short-term funds in cash or cash-like instruments, direct mid-term funds to ISAs or tax-free accounts, and send long-term funds to pensions or 401k plans. With the plan in place, let us test your knowledge. Question: what is the first priority in the strategic hierarchy? Options are: 1. Maximize ISA contributions for flexibility. 2. Maximize pension or 401k contributions beyond the match. 3. Secure all employer match funds. Or 4. Build an emergency fund before any contributions. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to secure all employer match funds. This represents an immediate, effectively risk-free return that is difficult to beat with other investments. Capturing the match lays the groundwork for compounding and should come before other contributions. Avoid these pitfalls. First, do not maximize restricted retirement accounts prematurely, because that can leave you cash poor and unable to handle emergencies or opportunities. Second, consider your midterm timelines carefully. They require accessible funds. Third, never skip the employer match. Fourth, ensure your emergency fund is adequate. Otherwise, your plan remains fragile. Fifth, automate contributions and transfers to remove reliance on willpower. With these mistakes in mind, we will visualize how an allocation might look using a simple pie chart. This pie chart shows one hypothetical allocation. 20% is designated for the emergency fund to ensure resilience. 30% goes to midterm ISA or tax-free contributions to support goals within approximately 10 years. 45% is allocated to pension or 401k accounts for long-term compounding and tax relief. The remaining 5% is held as opportunistic cash for tactical opportunities or buffer. Your actual percentages will depend on your income stability, risk tolerance, and goal timelines. To bring these ideas to life, let us examine a short case study. Consider Alex, age 29, with a stable job and a 5% employer match. Alex wants a home deposit in about 7 years. The plan is as follows. First, contribute enough to capture the full employer match. Next, build an emergency fund targeting 4 to 6 months of essential expenses. Then, open an ISA and automate contributions toward the home deposit goal, harnessing tax-free growth with liquidity. Once the emergency fund is in place and midterm ISA contributions are on track, Alex increases pension contributions beyond the match to accelerate long-term compounding. This staged approach balances resilience and growth. Now let us check your understanding with a second quiz. Question: if your main goal is a home deposit in 7 years, which account should you prioritize after securing the employer match and building an emergency fund? Options are: 1. Maximize pension or 401k immediately. 2. Use an ISA or tax-free account for midterm saving. 3. Hold everything in cash only. Or 4. Speculate in high-risk assets. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the correct answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to use an ISA or comparable tax-free account for midterm saving. For a goal within approximately 10 years, liquidity and tax efficiency are paramount, so a flexible tax-advantaged account is typically superior to locking funds in restricted retirement vehicles at this stage. Now, let us cement the core insights with key takeaways. These are the essential takeaways. First, capture the employer match. Second, build your emergency fund. Third, fund midterm goals using ISAs or other tax-free vehicles to maintain liquidity. Fourth, maximize pension or 401k contributions for long-term wealth building. Finally, avoid being cash poor by balancing flexibility with growth. With the key points summarized, let us wrap up. To conclude, the hierarchy transforms the pension versus ISA dilemma into a clear plan. Flexibility is not a weakness. It is a crucial feature that supports resilience and opportunity. Meanwhile, tax relief within pensions, or 401k accounts, can dramatically enhance long-term compounding. By balancing accessible funds for today with strategic retirement contributions for tomorrow, you can build both stability and freedom. Next, we will close with a quick thank you and a creative call to action. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please like the video, share it with someone who would benefit, and subscribe for more practical guides. Tell us in the comments whether you lean Team Flex or Team Long Term, and how you are applying this hierarchy. See you in the next one.